What up? This is Rapids. And so Rowdy Rebel is in a serious jam right now because I'm getting reports that he got arrested in LA, and that's the place he doesn't want to be arrested, because I reported to y'all about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, where Rowdy Rebel was in the middle of some smoke with LA. So he was in LA and then he left, and on the way leaving back to New York, he had left a text message on social media, and he was saying disrespectful things about the Hoovers in LA. He said, you know what I'm saying, he said he's out of LA, he's about to head back home, and basically F all y'all. So he specifically named the Hoovers in LA specifically. So the reason why he said that was because he blames the Hoovers for what happened to Pop Smoke, because it looks like Pop Smoke was unalived out in LA, and I guess the people that got caught, it turns out these were Hoovers, and this is all alleged, but that's what my reports are saying. And there were some interviews with some of the guys that did it, because they were underage minors at the time, and they got out now, or at least one of them got out, I know for sure, and he was out talking about everything. So he was, under a certain age at the time of the Pop Smoke incident. So they gave him a light sentence, and it looks like it was the Hoovers, is what the streets are saying, that did that to Pop Smoke. So Rowdy Rebel, he feels a certain way now, I guess, about the Hoovers, because I guess, Pop Smoke was a legend out there in New York to them. And I don't even know if they ran in the same circle or not with Rowdy Rebel, but probably, if he feels that way about Pop Smoke, or at the very least it could be a regional thing where he's feeling like, okay, this was a New York dude, he came out to California, look what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? So now with Rowdy Rebel in LA jail, LA County Jail. Now I did get this confirmed by some of my sources. It's looking like he's literally in LA County Jail. Like, they dug him up and everything. They got the paperwork. They found him. Looks like he's actually in LA County Jail. And now, we don't know if this is a probation hold or what, but according to my reports, he's still on probation. So, it could take a little bit to get him, out of there and get some bail or something, because I'm hearing it's over a thumper. That's what I'm getting from my sources, is that this is looking like it's over a thumper. Now, with that situation in LA, it's not really as serious as like New York, because in LA it seems to be more reasonable when it comes to, having thumpers and stuff. But, like with Soulja Boy, he got pulled over, and I predicted it, what was going to happen. I said, yeah, according to what it looks like, Soulja Boy, he'll be all right. And yeah, he got released with no charges, because when a thumper's left in the car and nobody's claiming it, well, they got to take everybody in to sort it all out. Sometimes they'll just let everyone go. Sometimes they'll charge one person with it. Someone might have to own up to it or whatever. I figured Soulja Boy probably had a fall guy or security that could own up to it. So whatever the case was, they let Soulja Boy out. They probably just ran the prints or something. Didn't find, couldn't stick it to Soulja Boy, so they let him go. LA seems to be pretty reasonable when it comes to stuff like that anyways. And then we saw what happened with Little Meech. I did a report on that. Little Meech had gotten caught up in the same way. And, they was, but it was worse, because Little Meech kind of told on his partner, but, on his homie in the car. But yeah, back to Rowdy Rebel, man, with him being in LA County Jail, that's going to be not good for him, because what he said about the Hoovers. So, man, I don't know if he's going to make it out of there, all good or what, because they want to do something to him up in there. So I'm pretty sure he knows to go to PC. They're going to ask him probably, I don't know how all that works or whatever, but if there's a way for him to get some PC, I think that's his best option right now, because they want him up in LA. They want to get him. I'm surprised he was back down there moving around so comfortably. You know what I'm saying? I guess he said, from what I understand, he has property in LA. You know what I'm saying? So from when I did my first report, it sounded like he had a house or something down there, or some type of business down there. So sounds like he's a regular out in LA. And so far he's been untouched. You know what I'm saying? He's been going where he wants to go through LA. And I guess people kind of forgot about that, maybe. That whole thing where he disrespected the Hoovers in LA. He disrespected LA, and he also disrespected the Hoovers, both of them. So for him to be walking around in LA still, I guess he's good. You know what I'm saying? He must know who to move around with when he's down there. That's what it looks like to me. So it looks like all this happened on August 10th. It was basically at like 1 or 2 in the morning. So that would basically be like Saturday night. You know, you out Saturday night. That turns into Sunday morning. So technically, it was Sunday morning. But you know how that goes. And he was out in LA moving around and probably got pulled over. Probably with someone else in the car. At least one person, I would suspect. And, you know, because that's how a lot of rappers have to move. You have to move with at least one other person usually. That one other person is usually the fall guy, so they'll probably sort it out. They might let him out, but with that probation hold, he's probably going to have to just, you know, sort out that mess. He could be out sooner than you think. Sometimes it might take like a week, sometimes longer. But those charges might also stick. You never know. You never know. Those charges he caught might stick. Then now he's facing probation violation, if that's the case. So I'll keep y'all updated. Make sure you like the video and all that. I mean, Rowdy, Rebel, and Bobby, they both fell off, you know what I'm saying, pretty bad since they've been out. They did a stretch, like a 6-year stretch. They was kind of on the rise, basically. That was their moment. They was peaking. You know, they wasn't even peaked yet. They was just getting on. If you ask me, they had computers and then the money dance and all that. And then they was, what they call it, shmoney dance or whatever. And then they had, you know, that hot song. You know what I'm saying, the hot ninja, I'll call it. And then, you know, they was taking off. And then, of course, New York, right away, they don't seem to like it when people get on out in New York. New York seems like a very strict place from what I've been seeing. And they cracked down on them. It's not like it wasn't warranted, though. I think that it looks like there was some hot boys out there in New York. From what because Bobby's been on Vlad TV over the last couple weeks. And he's been saying a lot of reckless stuff on there, talking about stuff that, you know, letting off rounds at people, getting at people, telling, you know, what they would do to them, all types of stuff. He's just on there reckless, talking all this stuff, talking about what sets he used to claim. Bobby is just out there wild and out. He's bugging, yo, straight up. So I don't know. I mean, Bobby might end up talking himself into some more charges the way he's out there talking reckless. He should not, I don't know. He should probably say less. But that's just my opinion. But that's on him too. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't got no buzz right now. He came out, Bobby came out, nobody was checking for him. And he switched his style up. Like, nobody was really checking for him. They was talking about him. He wasn't doing good. They said they canceled. He tried to go on tour. They canceled it. They said low ticket sales. You know what I'm saying? It would have been empty places he was performing for, because they were saying like only 10 people was like, it was an average of like 10 people getting tickets allegedly per venue. So that's like, you know, a sign that's an indicator that it would have been a low turnout. Not saying that only 10 would have showed up to the show. I mean, there's also like day of people that show up at the door. So there could have been maybe a handful of people there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much. I know not too many people was checking for Bobby though. Now Rowdy, he's been more on top of things when it comes to music. Rowdy Rebel's been out here. He's been at least putting more effort in and releasing music and music videos and stuff. So Rowdy probably has a little bit more of a buzz, surprisingly, than Bobby at this moment, you know, because Bobby just fell off so bad, and I don't even know if it's recoverable at this point. He might as well just almost give it up at this point. Rowdy, he fell off too, but just not as hard. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, personally, I haven't been really checking for either of them. I haven't really been staying in tune with their work or nothing. Just kind of, you know, not too interested in what they got going on these days. Their time is kind of expired, if you ask me. I don't even know if we can get it back. Once you fall off that hard, it's almost like almost like the writing's on the wall at that point. But it looks like Rowdy's been coasting along, still kind of getting to the bag, and probably doing shows and, you know, putting out music and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see if he makes it through this. I think he'll be all right, though. I mean, when it comes down to it, you would think he would be able to survive getting out of there, you know, without, you know, getting slumped. Because it's a county, you would think he wouldn't get poked up like Tory Lanez and nothing. You would hope not. You know, because the difference is Rowdy is in probably like a holding cell area type thing, not with the people that are doing a long stretch yet. So at this point, he's probably kind of like in a holding area. They might move him upstairs to like a more dorm type situation, but I would suspect he's kind of like, either way, these are people kind of that just showed up at the county, you know, doing some county time or you know, waiting to see if they can get bail, stuff like that. So he'll probably be all right, especially if he goes to PC. If Rowdy goes to PC, he'll be all right. And really ain't no real shame in him going to PC, because if he got to do what he got to do to protect his neck, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't even knock him for that, because, you know, he talked himself into a kind of a situation in LA where it'd be understandable. This dude, he has to survive, you know. Rowdy has to survive, and he does have celebrity status on top of that. So everything he said has been magnified. You know, people are really in tune with what he be texting and stuff. So he needs some protection. He's gonna need to get some protection. He's either gonna have to face his ops, you know what I'm saying, take a few fades, or, you know what I'm saying, squabble up, or he's gonna have to do PC. Either way, that's on him. That's on him. We'll see what comes of this, though. He's probably connected with some type of set down there, I'm sure. The way he's been moving around in LA. I don't know what set he's been cooling with. Probably, well, I'm not even gonna speculate. I don't even know what set he's probably cooling with, but I'm sure he's probably in tune with some type of set out there where, you know what I'm saying, he knows how to survive and, you know what I'm saying, get by or whatever, and move around and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep y'all updated. Hey, hit that like button. Let me get 100 likes on this video. Also, let's see, make sure you subscribe. Also, follow Rap HITZ on social media and all that. I'm out.